Happy Wednesday, everybody. So, some things to anticipate when we are awake. We have to be prepared for the new momentum, or else we start noticing a new pattern, an old pattern emerging, the one we're expecting the other shoe to drop. Oftentimes, when we are new in the spiritual awakening process, we are touching for maybe the first time consciously in our life that we are in a new experience, a new perception, a new world, a new reality. And we drop the weight. We cut the cords that have been bound to us for our whole life. And we don't even care where they came from. We just know that they're gone. However, once we wake up, once I wake up, and once everyone in my community is starting to experience right now, all at the same time, is that things start to move very quickly. And then something comes back in the form of fear. And then the old language starts coming back. If I could just get a break. Oh my gosh, I'm so busy. I can't wait for things to slow down again. And then, surprise, surprise, we're not awake anymore. We go back asleep. It's because we're bringing old tools from our old self, from our old life, from our old reality, and applying that lens to look at our new world. So it is critical. It is important. You are important enough to learn something new. And these tools are around you everywhere. There's breath work, there's yoga, there is mindfulness, there's float tanks, there's ice baths. All of these things, we can choose to look at them as trendy and a fad. Well, the fact is that they existed before anyone knew about them in this intense way. So we can judge those things as insert any label that's coming to your mind, not grounded. Well, we don't want to be grounded when we're awake. Because when you wake up, you realize that the grounded way is the hard way, and the boring way, and the sad way. And once you've been awake for a while, you realize that it never really worked when things were grounded anyway. It was all an illusion because you had to keep trying. You had to keep getting it right, and it was never done. They always wanted more. So now that we're awake, we have to prepare ourselves a little bit differently for the world, or else that high flying spectrum that we're going on, if it's by default, if it's by accident, if it's just because of the natural order of things and the fact that momentum on the planet is speeding up more than ever before, that more and more people are waking up for the first time. If you just ride that wave and don't get involved and learn how to manage yourself, emotionally regulate yourself through the stages of awareness, something's going to happen and it's going to go right back to where you used to be. And then eventually, your awakening will have been a distant memory and you will turn it into an illusion. You will go join a group, you'll go join a religion, you'll go buy a book that explains how you went through some kind of psychosis and it was all an illusion. And you'll go, oh, wow. I'm so glad I found this thing out there to confirm that I had a problem because I found the book. I found a label. I must have been crazy. That wasn't spiritual. That wasn't an awakening. Or worse, you'll start faking it, which is just as awful as being asleep. So don't fake it. If you're new to this spiritual awakening community, if you're learning how to create your reality for the first time, find a mentor. Find a mentor that's not going to judge you. Find a mentor that's not going to challenge you. Find a mentor that's not just going to sell you a product, one more product that is somebody else's product. Find a mentor that's not going to just tell you, take an ice bath, and oh, by the way, tag me in the Instagram post. Don't go to sleep and pretend that you're awake. You've been doing that for far too long. Do the work. Pick up new tools. Find a new way to connect. Self care becomes an absolute moment to moment existence when you're awake. Because once you tap into the fact that taking care of yourself is how you're going to change the world, you're not going to be too happy when you lose the ability to do that. When you get sick, when you start ignoring your self care because momentum has picked up so high and you've become a magnet to everyone on the planet, you're going to have to step up the game. Self care, every waking moment of your day and your life is going to be required. You have to leap into the unknown and stop listening to that voice that starts creeping in the back of your head from a long time ago, from when you were asleep, looking at the world around you and how fast things are going and knowing that everything is working out for you, but you don't like this thing a little bit, you don't like that thing a little bit, and you start leaning towards only what you do like, but you start condemning the people in your life that are not awake. You start pushing away. You start making social media posts about how you're not going to allow anyone to be in your life unless they serve you, which then can turn into someone looked at you a different way and you think you know what they were thinking and you decide to trust your gut and you actually fell asleep again. Because when you were in the unknown, finally, in the river, you got scared and you said, I'm just afraid of the unknown. You got to call yourself out and realize you're not in the unknown if you're scared. The only way for you to be possibly in a fear state of mind when you're awake is if you're bringing the past into your present and applying something that you do know to your present moment. You're remembering again. You're remembering your old identity, the one that made mistakes when life got really good, the one that maybe hurt somebody in the process or hurt themselves. You're bringing the old illusion of who you are and you're placing that on the new momentum as you see the world transform before your very eyes. And you're going to need to remind yourself when this happens that you got here because you finally let go. So don't start picking things up that weigh you down. You got to let them go again and again and again. Find your path, find multiple paths. Never rely on just one tool because any tool used over and over and over and over and over again eventually leads to paradox. So don't be the hammer looking at the world as a nail. Join the group. Don't make it a religion. Do something new. Stop bringing your old identity back to your awake consciousness because then you're already asleep. and breathe. Always breathe. So when your life speeds up and God, the universe, the person staring right in front of you actually starts giving you every single thing you've always wanted, notice, are you accepting it or are you judging it? Notice, are you open or are you clinging to the way you thought it was going to happen? Ask yourself, are you asking God, the universe, infinite intelligence for something very, very clearly and judging how it comes? Well, then you might be asleep. Because when you're awake, you need faith more than ever. You have to stop using the tools of man, the constructs, the same books that you were reading, the same people that are resisting you being you. You don't have to throw them away. You have to remember that they are a reflection of what you are sending out in the world. So the next time you have an awakening and decide, I can't be this new version of myself unless I leave the world, leave the country, quit my job, break up with that person, divorce that person because I'm tapping into something that they don't understand. And I'm now suddenly demanding that they change. That is one of the hurdles that we want to be aware of as we are actively, consciously creating our new reality and living from there. We have to take self care to the absolute 1 millionth% responsibility on ourselves, which means responsible for every single solitary thought in your head. Because momentum speeds up, which means you're going to see the mirror reflection of who you truly are coming at you faster and faster and faster and faster. And you need to be persistent in your faith in who you truly are. And watch out for that urge to still judge others because they're not spiritual enough, because they don't believe in your path exactly the way that you do, because you don't like the language they're using, because you suddenly perceive them as aggressive. The fact that you're perceiving them as aggressive, if you've been on this journey a long time, you would already know that's you. That is you. So don't be a faker. Don't be an imposter on social media. If you're awake, pick up new tools, drop the old ones, do something different. And if you fall asleep, get help. Go back to the beginning. Don't let the momentum of your life force you into making yourself an imposter all over again. Just let go and let it come in. Resistance free and open. You are sacred. You are worthy. You are love. Be unconditional in the world and in here. As within, so without. Bless you all.